Welcome back to the battle camp. So I've been noticing today and yesterday people going back and forth about comments that Tony Bellew made regarding the heavyweight division, and more specifically what he said about Anthony Joshua and what he said about Deontay Wilder. So just for the interest of people that haven't heard any of this, um, here's what Tony Bellew said. So with regards to Anthony Joshua, this is what he said. AJ is the best heavyweight in the world. Physically, athletically, everything. He is fast and explosive. He is the perfect role model to look at. Where he has come from and where he is now is incredible. And then when he was going on about Deontay Wilder, this is what he said. He's the worst, least technically gifted heavyweight champion ever. Deontay Wilder is the worst heavyweight champion of all time, technically. I don't think there has ever been a worse champion. This man can't throw a proper combination. This man hits the lights when he throws a right hand. He is, he is ultimately a one-trick pony. Don't get me wrong, it's a fantastic trick, but it is just the one. He has been exposed at the top level. So people have been going back and forth on this, basically saying some people are saying Tony Bellew's right, some people are saying Tony Bellew's wrong, some people are saying Tony Bellew is the worst heavyweight than what Deontay Wilder was, and everyone's going basically that's what I'm hearing. There's a couple of things that I wanted to pick up on this. Firstly, these comments that he made were during an interview that he did with IFL TV during the undercard of the James DeGale and Chris Eubank Jr. fight. And that fight happened on February the... Hold on, let me get my calendar out. February the 23rd, and I was there. So that was nearly 2 weeks ago that he made these comments. So I suppose my first observation is, why the fuck are people talking about this now? Like, it's a bit strange to me that he said something so long ago, and all of a sudden this week it's a hot topic in boxing. I kind of I don't know why, but I'm assuming that these quotes were printed in a news article on some website or something like that, and it got picked up by a boxing forum, and before you know it, everyone's butthurt about it. So that's a bit strange to me how these things work. It's like, but then again, if you haven't heard these comments, you can't react to them. So maybe because they appeared on a boxing forum or a boxing news site, people kind of were alerted to what he'd said and they decided to comment on his comments, which is fair enough, I suppose. Now, a lot of the people that are saying that Tony Bellew is wrong, I think they're misunderstanding the argument that Tony Bellew is making. Because a lot of the arguments I've heard have been things such as, Tony Bellew said himself that he doesn't want to fight Deontay Wilder. So that makes Tony Bellew a shitter technical fighter than Deontay Wilder. But what they're missing the point of is Tony Bellew was literally just talking about Deontay Wilder's technique. He wasn't talking about him overall. He was just talking about him, just the basics, the basic kind of skills of boxing, not being a fighter, just the boxing skills that Deontay Wilder possesses. Now, me personally, I don't agree with these comments because I saw Deontay Wilder box during his first fight with Stiverne, and I don't know the whole history of boxing, and I don't know every single heavyweight champion that's ever existed. But just by the way I saw Deontay Wilder box against Stiverne in their first fight, he has got some boxing skills. I just think as he's kind of grown into this knockout artist, he's kind of relying on that power during his fights more so than his boxing skills. And there's two reasons for this, I think. Firstly, he's spent a lot of time fighting people that are way below his level. The first real test that he had was that Stiverne fight that I mentioned earlier. And then after that, he had a bunch of fights against people that he he was too good for, and he knew he was going to beat, and he managed to knock them out. The only test he's had since then has been Luis Ortiz and obviously Tyson Fury. And in both of those fights, from a boxing standpoint, both of those guys gave Deontay Wilder problems from a technical boxing standpoint. And because they gave him problems, he didn't rely on his boxing skills. He went to his default setting of trying to throw power shots and beat these guys with a one-punch KO, rather than trying to set up his attacks and set up his rather than trying to use boxing to set up his attacks to land that one punch, if that makes sense. So he wasn't laying little tricks and laying little traps for the fighter that he's facing to eventually hit his opponent with that one big shot. He was literally just trying to walk his opponent down and connect with that one big punch. So I think that's why he's got this reputation of not being a boxer, because he's kind of done it to himself. He's not really ever relied on the boxing skills that he displayed in that first Deverne fight. The other thing that I wanted to pick up on was what Tony Bellew said about his inability to throw combinations. This is an observation that Paulie Malignaggi has made as well. I saw an interview that Paulie Malignaggi did last week. And Paulie Malignaggi, I respect his opinion a lot. I think he's probably the best analyst in boxing today, in my opinion. Him and Andre Ward. But I don't really get to see Andre Ward that much because I'm in England. So, and I believe Ward was with HBO, and obviously they've come out of the game. But Paulie Malignaggi was literally saying the same thing. He said that Deontay Wilder doesn't throw combinations; he just throws a collection of punches. So, if you can imagine the 12th round against Tyson Fury, where he connected with that first, was it a right hand and followed it with a left, or maybe it was the other way around. Someone basically said to Paulie Malignaggi during this interview, they said, "Well, that's a combination." And Paulie Malignaggi's take was, he said, no, it's not, because he wasn't balanced and he wasn't sitting down on his punches and throwing, multiple punches from one stance, from one position. He was unbalanced and he literally just threw that one punch. It connected and he followed it up with another. That was a collection. It wasn't a combination. If you watch that video that I'm on about, I'll tell you what, I'll probably put a link to it below if I can find it again. He can explain it a lot better than I can. Obviously, I have never put on a pair of boxing gloves in my life. But so this opinion is from two boxers that are known for being able to analyze fights to a high level, Paulie Malignaggi and also Tony Bellew. Now, I'm not sitting here saying that I agree or disagree with what they're saying. I'm just telling you what they've said, right? Before you guys start getting at me and saying I'm a Deontay Wilder hater, I've already said that I don't agree with what Tony Bellew said. I don't agree that he's the worst technical fighter, a worst technical heavyweight champion in history. I don't agree with that, because something that is a technique that you can improve on is adding power to your punches. Obviously, there's a big element of that is just natural. Either you can hit hard or you can't. But you can improve on the power of your shots. And because of that, by default, that's a part of your technique as a boxer. And one thing that you can't debate about Deontay Wilder is the fact that he's packs a punch. He's got a lot of power. And he's got enough power to finish any heavyweight fighter in the division with a single shot. So for me, that's an element of technique. But I suppose what I really just wanted to understand is why the fuck everyone's going crazy about this now when he said it nearly 2 weeks ago. So if you guys know why this has become a hot topic, please put it in the comments so you can educate me. Let me know what you guys think. Do you think Tony Bellew's right? Do you think he's wrong? Do you think this is a stupid argument? Do you think there's no way that you can scientifically prove either for or against this statement? So what's the point in arguing about it? Do you just think we're fucking bored because we just want these guys to fight each other and it's not happening? Because that's kind of how I feel right now. Let me know what you guys think. Please don't forget to hit the subscribe button. I'd really appreciate it if you share this video with a friend or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5. Try and get my videos out there. Trying to grow the channel. So yeah, that's about it. I'll catch you guys next time.